The Nottingham Building Society, along with our partners, providing you with all your financial needs, including savings, the Lifetime ISA, mortgages, and home insurance. Visit thenottingham.com to find out more about how we can help.
So let's start not way back, because we're pretty much the same age and I don't want to insult myself. Where did hockey come into the life of Rebecca Johnston?
Sorry, what? Sorry, you cut out there. What? Sorry.
Where did hockey come into the life of Rebecca Johnston?
Yeah, so I started when I was 3 years old. I grew up in Sudbury, Ontario, and I actually started in an outdoor hockey league with my older siblings. I'm from a large family. I have 5 siblings, and we all play hockey. So I kind of was born into playing. My dad played and everyone played in my family. So it was kind of more of a hockey family. We were very competitive with each other. And I grew up playing when I was 3 years old, and I just fell in love with it.
And you mentioned your siblings there, and proving that hockey is the smallest world of any sport out there. Your brother actually played for the Edinburgh Capitals in our very own Elite League. What did he tell you about that? Because their trials and tribulations are well known. So I'm sure you have stories that we don't need to get into about them.
Yeah, no, I know he really enjoyed it. I think he was getting his MBA at the same time, I believe. So that was a huge plus for him. And but he absolutely loved it. He loved to be able to travel and see some new places and just enjoy being out there. I know he has a lot of great things to say about it for sure.
That's one of the things about the Elite League is that you do get to travel around the country because you get so much free. It's weird because we only play at the weekend sort of thing, and then you get all week to train and do what you want pretty much. So he was to tell you about some incredible adventures he had up and down just traveling.
Oh yeah, he was able to. His wife now was with him as well, and he had his dog there as well. So he was able to just hang out with them and be able to travel and see different areas. And they love to travel, so it was really nice to be able for them to do some sightseeing as well.
Yeah, but bringing dogs over always seems very important for imports. It's a pain to get dogs into this country. It is the hardest thing. Yeah. It's a nightmare. Like we had one guy who actually went to France to then come to the UK because it was easier to do it that way. So he went past us and then came back in. Which I remember telling me that travel itinerary, and that was no fun. So, at what point did you start to think that hockey would be a potential, like actual career path for you? Because obviously you're playing when you were a kid and stuff. At what point did it hit you that you want to try and take this as far as you can?
Yeah, I think the 2002 Olympics, when the Canadian women's team and men's team both won gold, was a turning point for me. That was when I decided and really wanted to strive to make the national team and to one day represent my country at the Olympics. And because growing up, I played on the guys' team. I didn't know that a lot of girls played hockey. To be honest, we didn't have a girls' team really until I was older. So it was kind of more of just I just absolutely loved playing, and I didn't really know what future I had with it. I also played a lot of other sports, so I just really enjoyed being active and playing sports. So the 2002 Olympics really, changed my perspective and allowed me to have, something to strive for. And I knew that I wanted to go to school and play as well. And so it's always great as a young kid to be able to have these goals and aspirations.
Then going to school, what was it about Cornell that made you go there? Because a lot of the top female players go through like Wisconsin and places like that. Why was it Cornell for you?
Yeah, so growing up, my family, my parents always instilled that in us, the importance of education. Having working hard and getting good grades was the main thing. Was always more important than sports. So I think for me, I knew I wanted to go to an Ivy League school and have a great education while I'm able to play hockey and still train and be at the best I can be. And I felt like Cornell had a great hockey program. It was going in the right direction, and a great coach that I thought I can really learn from. But the education piece was more important than going to, a school that had won national championships before. So you can't play hockey forever. And I thought that education and having that lined up was important as well.
And then you can tell the education's important of it based on who Cornell's big rivals are, can't you?
Oh, yeah, like Harvard. And
I've had Brian Hayward on this show because he's related to our assistant coach, and he told me all about the rivalry with Harvard and the things with the tennis balls and all this nonsense that happened in the 80s. Did any of that ever happen to you?
Yeah, on the men's side, I feel like they do some crazy stuff. For us, nothing like that. No, but they're definitely a school that anytime we play against, we really want to beat. So it's the funny thing is I was deciding between Cornell and Harvard with my two picks for schools because I have two older sisters and they both went. One went to Harvard, and one went to Cornell. So they were fighting for me to make a decision to go to one of their schools.
Then the other ones never spoke to you since.
Yeah, my oldest one hasn't spoken.
What would you say what are the biggest memories from your time in college? Because over here, college sports isn't really what it is in North America. It's its own like phenomenon over there, isn't it?
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah. To be able to play in the NCAA and have a scholarship, play in the varsity team, and then just the schools in general, they're incredible. And I had an amazing 4 years. I really enjoyed my time at Cornell, and I feel like I learned so much about myself, becoming more independent. I never had left home until college, so that was an adjustment for me. But no, I think you meet so many great people and able to take part in all the school activities. And Cornell is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful schools I've ever seen. And so it was an amazing experience.
And then you're obviously already on Team Canada's radar because you played them for under 22s and stuff. But did you at any point expect to get into that World Championships team in your first year at college?
No. So I didn't expect it. No, I actually was an alternate on the 2007 World Championship team, which was the year before I went to college. And so I was really, really young, and I really did not expect that to even get the experience to go. I practiced with the team, and if there was injuries, I think I would have played. But that was a really neat experience for me. So that was kind of like the stepping stone for me for the next Worlds. But no, I think every time you get to represent your country, it's an honor and it's exciting. And I definitely didn't expect it, especially in 2008. But I was really excited, obviously had nerves, but my goal finally, came true to be able to represent my country and make that team for the first year.
That's it. How did you juggle like playing for the national team, being at school and playing for your school as well?
Yeah, so you definitely learn a lot about prioritizing your time, and I learned the hard way my first year. Felt like I didn't need to do my schoolwork, or I felt like I didn't give myself enough time. And so to be a student athlete is definitely tough, and especially in an Ivy League school. So you really have to make sure that every waking moment you are being productive and you're doing something, because you have practice every day, you have workout almost every day, and then you're traveling on the weekends for games. So it's a lot in itself. And then trying to juggle the schoolwork too. So it's making sure that you have some time in the morning before class, you get some work done. Just trying to find the time, and your social life sometimes sacrifices a bit.
When it comes to hockey, the Olympic Games is the big thing. So when you make it into that World Championships team, do you have half an eye on getting into that Olympics roster?
Do you have what, sorry?
Like half an eye on getting into that Olympics roster.
Yeah, well, I think every year it's a new year, it's a new roster. It's the coaches make these decisions based on the year that you've had and how you've been playing and all that. So I think every year, just because you make a team doesn't mean that you're going to make that next roster. So there's always that kind of stress and pressure that you put on yourself to making sure that you're always performing and playing well, because you're not guaranteed a spot on any roster, no matter how long you've been on the team. So I think an Olympic year, a lot of things change. throughout those 6-7 months before the Olympics, we're all training together, and there are a lot of ups and downs, and there are cuts throughout the year. So depending on if you're not performing or not, they might not see a spot for you.
Now, I've heard from the people I've had on here in the past that the process to get into that Canadian team, it should be a TV show from what I've heard. The way that you get to this building at different times and go through this whole crazy what's your story from that the first time you made it to the Olympics?
Yeah, so it's crazy. I can't believe I've done it 3 times already. It is quite the year, and it is very stressful. It's physically and mentally demanding. Yeah, we have a month-long boot camp that we take part in May. So I guess 9 months before the Olympics, and then we all centralize in August in Calgary. And so you pick up and move wherever you are, and you kind of make your home in Calgary, and we train day in and day out with the team. We play 60 some games leading up to or including the Olympics, and 7-game series against the US. So there is a lot, and then we train every day. We're in the gym all the time. We're doing workouts, mental meetings. We're having video sessions. So there's just a lot each day that's jammed into each day. And it is crazy how much we do each day. And it is so exhausting. And you just think back to the year and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did all of that. And then after the Olympics, so it's to go through all that at a young age. In 2010, I was 19, and then I turned 20 before the Olympics. And it was a crazy process, but I learned so much about myself. I really feel like my mental side of things really improved. Physically, I was able to handle everything, which was key. But it's a really tough year, and so every girl you ask for sure will say the same thing.
And did you have to get pulled out of college for that year and then add an extra year of education on, sort of thing?
Yeah, so I took a year off after my second year. So I came back a year later for my junior and senior year. So yeah, I guess I technically did school in 5 years. But
so Winter Olympics in Vancouver in Canada for a Canadian, how incredible was that experience?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, just to be centralized for that year, I was like, putting so much pressure on myself. I'm like, I just need to make this team. Like, this would be an amazing opportunity to represent my country, my home country at the Olympics. And, who knows when that would ever happen again. And the fans and the support that we had was incredible. Every game, but our final game, we had like 20,000 people in the stands, all wearing red and white, cheering us on. I remember I couldn't even hear my line mates calling for the puck. It was so loud. And it was an amazing experience. And I had 10 people there, I think, being able to share that moment when we won that gold medal. So it was really special, especially to be able to share it with my family, who's been a huge supporter of me and really has pushed me and has created, I'm the person I am today because of them. So to share such a special moment with them was pretty amazing.
And I'm guessing that you remember your first Olympic goal clear as day in your head.
Oh yeah, I remember I got it around my neck, the gold medal around my neck, and I looked up and I saw my mom in the stands. I don't even know how I found her. And she was waving frantically, and she was just bawling. And I just could see my dad there, and he was like, kind of his arm. My mom was telling me later that he was crying just watching it because and he doesn't cry that often. I don't see it ever. So I just feel like they went through so much stress as well. Like I remember my dad telling me the whole tryout. Like I feel like I'm getting emotional, but he like hardly slept. He was so nervous for 7 months leading up to this Olympics, like hoping that I make this team and my dreams come true. It was almost like his dream as well. So it's crazy feeling. But
then when the Olympics roll around, obviously women's sports in general is always fighting for attention. And then when the Olympics comes, that attention is lumped on you so heavily, and the spotlight doesn't burn brighter than that. How do you deal with that rather than fighting for the spotlight, that when it's burning on you?
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy. I think an Olympics is a whole other level. It's the attention we get, and I mean, I think it's one of the most watched sports in the Olympics, and so to have all that attention all of a sudden, it is a lot. But to be at the Olympics, it's you go through a lot of media training and all that, but you're also in your own little bubble that you don't even realize the impacts that you have, especially when you're out of country, until you come back and you realize, how big it actually was. And social media helps, but you try to stay off of social media as much as you can, because it can be a distraction for sure. But the impact that you have and the attention that you have, you truly don't really realize until after you get home and you realize how many people watch the game and how everyone is supportive, and no matter, the silver medal, gold medal, everyone has your back, and Canada is so proud of you. So it is a pretty crazy feeling.
And did you take the gold medal back to campus when you went back to Cornell?
Did I take it back?
I hope it's not still there.
No, I haven't seen it. I think I did actually, but I don't take it out often unless people ask, because I get awkward. But everyone was really proud and excited for me at Cornell for sure. That especially the year I came back after. It was crazy just to win a gold medal at such a young age.
And you obviously scored in that Olympics as well. I'm guessing you've got a picture perfect memory of that goal.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate to score at every Olympic, so I actually just trying to remember. It wasn't a huge significant goal, I think we won like 10-0 in one game, so
they all count. What was it like going back to college after having that experience with the national team? Because I imagine, whilst I know colleges are professional, I imagine it's a whole different level internationally. So what was it like going back to college after that?
It was different. Like, it was an adjustment. It probably took a month for me to get used to having to go to class again and do homework, because I really was living the life like the year before. Just solely focusing on hockey and be able to train, and just my life was hockey, and to go back and then have to again prioritize my time and realize that, okay, schoolwork is number one now, and then having to focus on hockey. And it was an adjustment for sure, but I quickly got it back. And I think I was just so excited to be back at school. I missed it, and play for the Cornell team again and be with all the girls. So.
Now, when you finish college, you go into the CWHL draft, isn't it, in 2012? Yeah. When you go into that, are you told beforehand who might be drafting you, or is it a complete surprise on when they do it?
No, it was more of I knew I was going to be in the Toronto area at that time, so then the Toronto team drafts you. So like, because of the lack of team, like there's not so many teams that you kind of tell them what area you're going to be in, and then they draft you. So I was with Toronto.
What was the back then? What was the standard of the CWHL like? Because I imagine all the top women are in this league.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the talent was good and everything, and I noticed throughout the years that I played with the CWHL that the talent and women's hockey in general has just gotten so much better every year. I mean, the speed of the game, the ability of like puck handling, what girls can do now, it's a lot better, and it keeps improving, which is amazing to see. I know from 2012 till the CWHL folded, it was like the competition is just kept getting stronger, and they ended up being really, really good games, especially near the end of the CWHL.
But what would you say that? Do you think it does? Because when the Olympic years roll around, you don't play in the women's league, do you? You go and play in the men's junior league and play against those guys. Yeah. How do you think that helps you more than say playing where you are, sort of thing? Do you think it helps raise your game, or do you think it?
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed playing against the guys. Like I said earlier, I grew up playing with the boys, so I'm almost used to that. And I really enjoy it. I mean, the game is really fast when you play against the guys. It's quick. They have long reaches. Their shots are hard. So there's a lot of things that I think really help, especially, making decisions quick, reactive time, the speed of the game. So I think it is really good for us to play against them. It really pushes us. And I always see improvement from our team over the 5-6 months we're playing against them.
And then when you're going through that, you must have been really looking forward to getting to Sochi, to go away and play in the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, so throughout the year, we're also playing against girls too. We're playing against the US and all that. So it's not like we're unfamiliar with it. But yeah, after such a hard schedule and playing the guys and traveling all around Alberta, playing games, and then, finally you're working towards this one goal, getting to the Olympics and hopefully winning a gold medal for your country. And so when you finally get to the Olympics, it's like a dream come true. You just are in awe. There's so many, amazing things that to look forward to when you get there. And so it's just like it's just like from a dream. You just don't even realize it's real. It's so surreal. So to actually get there though is an amazing, but it's just an accomplishment in itself. So,
and when you get there, the expectation is it's always going to end in Canada versus the USA. That must add so much extra expectations onto you that you're expected to get to this final game to have this big spectacle for women's hockey.
Yeah, I mean, just they're always amazing games when we play against the States. They're always so close. Like, I mean, I don't even know. Majority of the time we play against them, it's either overtime, we go into overtime, or shootout at the Olympics, we'll
get into that.
Like a 1-goal, yeah, or a 1-goal game, so it's all so close. So I think the talent of women's hockey is improving, and other countries are improving for sure. And so one day, it will be a lot of teams that are strong, and that will be in that spot. Yeah, I mean, the talent that the States have, this talent that we have, it's great hockey to watch.
And then that final in Sochi, I don't know if there's ever been a better game at the Olympics ever, for the craziest ending as well. To be 2-0 down, then that crazy bounce goes in, tie it up, and then win it in overtime. I can't imagine what you were going through on that bench.
It was crazy. I mean, I was on the ice. We were down 2-0. I remember going into the third and no one was, we were down 2 goals. Sorry. No one seemed to be super stressed or concerned, and everyone seemed pretty confident, and which really helped. And if, you got that energy and that belief in each other, and then, we scored that first goal. I remember, I was on the ice, and I remember okay, everyone was just so excited. And we just had this feeling that we could do this,
Mm-hmm.
And especially when the puck hit the post, that was a moment where everyone was like, okay, we got this. This is the hockey gods want us to win. It's in, we have the luck right now. So the puck hit that post, and I just remember that everyone was like, okay, that was our breaking point, and that was the time where, okay, now we got to get the second goal and tie this game. And then once that happened, and going into overtime, we had all the momentum at that point.
And then how does it feel to then have defended your Olympic gold? That is, because it's harder to win something twice than it is once.
Oh yeah, I mean, to win it twice in a row was incredible. And I mean, you already have 1 gold medal, so to win another one is an accomplishment, and it is hard to defend that for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's amazing accomplishment.
There's a great picture of you. I think it's you and Laura Fortina, where you're looking at this medal.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's your first one or the second one, because the thing didn't say.
That was Sochi, yeah, my second one.
It's just this incredible photo of you. Just look you can tell how much it means just in that photo. Yeah,
I mean, it's so hard. People ask me what you feel. It's so hard to explain. It's such a remarkable feeling to accomplish something that of the highest level. There's nothing higher than that, and to be able to win something for your country and something bigger than yourself. And it was it was amazing. And so, yeah, you can see it all over our faces when we were looking at that medal, because that's, you know, that's what you're working for and working towards at such a young age. When you're 3 or 4 years old, you're dreaming of, you know, one day winning a medal for your country. So.
And then when you get back from there, you make the move to Calgary in the CWHL. Was that just a case of you relocating, or did Toronto just move you on, sort of thing? I don't know how I don't know if it works with trades in the CWHL or how it.
No, I wanted to live in Calgary. After centralization year, I just absolutely loved it out here, and it was kind of more my style, and great training and facilities. So I thought that it would be a better fit for me.
And all the mountains and the lakes help as well.
Yeah, I love mountains. Yeah,
I can tell that from your Instagram.
Yeah.
And then when you're in you win the CWHL with Calgary, but you only played like 4 regular season games. Were you injured that year?
Yeah, so I was injured that year. I had a back and hip issues, so it was a long recovery. And I was able to come back, I think, the last 4 games of the season. And then playoffs, and then we won, which was it was a great year. But it was more just like, it was such a tough year, physically and mentally, for me to battle through an injury like that, and miss so many games and just watch your team play while you're sitting on the sidelines. That was tough, and I think you learn a lot about yourself through an injury. But to be able to come back, and I felt strong, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be 100% coming back or anything. And I came back, and I was playing well and feeling great. And to help my team win a Clarkson Cup after that was emotional, and it was exciting to be able to come back from that.
Especially, it seems like from the sheet, that was like your first injury. So it's your first time away from hockey, which makes it even worse because you don't know how to deal with yourself away from something you're so used to.
Yeah, so that was my first time I ever missed games. I had back issues before. I actually had I fractured my back in university, and I somehow was playing still.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, but no, that was the first time it kind of took me out of the sport. And you really learn a lot about yourself, because that, you know, I mean, hockey's everything in my life, and to all of a sudden not have it and not be able to do it, was really tough. And you really have to work on the mental side of things and making sure you get through it. And I think for me, I really focused on my rehab, knowing that, you know, the best, if I do this the best I can do, and the best of my ability, you know, I'll get back faster and I'll feel better. And so that was kind of my end goal, was just knowing if I really solely focus on this rehab and every day and making sure I do everything to T, then I'll be able to get back sooner.
And then you also got that element of you want to get back on the ice as soon as you can. And I imagine your trainers and stuff are trying to hold you back, because we've had guys in Nottingham who have rushed back onto it because they miss it so much. So when you finally get to put your skates on the ice again, I can't imagine the joy you felt. Oh,
I was so excited. I remember, well, I know that it was a tough go for me, because I was able to skate throughout it, but I can only skate at 50%, and I had to hold myself back a lot. And that was really tough. So for me to be able to put my skates on and be able to go 100% and to be able to play in a game I remember I was so excited that game, and I ended up having a really great game, actually. I think just because of, you know, me being for so long sitting in the sidelines, just wishing I can play, and then you finally get that opportunity again.
Yeah, and then Pyeongchang rolls around, which I assume incredible to make another Olympic Games. And we'll just say it now, no title, no championship should ever be decided in a shootout, ever.
Yes, I don't think so. I would just let us keep playing, you know.
Well, they were going to do that at the next World Championships, weren't they? You were going to actually go play 3-on-3 instead of shootouts.
I think so, yeah.
So what was I imagine every Olympic experience in itself is different. Like Vancouver would be different to Sochi, and that's different to Pyeongchang. What was different about Pyeongchang?
Well, obviously, the most obvious is the outcome. But you know what? I think we, as a team, were probably, you know, I think we were really prepared. I think we were a very talented team, and I think we were ready. We were ready to win that gold medal, and I don't have any regrets. I don't think that, you know, we should have done something differently or whatever. Like, I think we had a really strong roster, and we had a close team, and I think we were really ready for this Olympics. And I just think it sometimes just doesn't go your way. And obviously Sochi, we had a lot of good a lot of luck on our side for that, hitting the post and that sort of thing. So I just think, you know, things happen. In 2018, I think we had a strong game. We played well, and I mean, both teams were really strong. We both had our opportunities, and it just ends up, you know, sometimes you end up losing. And I think you learn a lot from the losses, especially the big losses. And it's a feeling I don't want to ever feel again. I mean, to lose after only winning at an Olympics in my career to then losing in 2018 was an awful feeling. I mean, I'm thankful and very happy to be able to win a silver medal. I mean, to have a silver medal is a remarkable accomplishment, but our end goal was to win gold, and so it felt like a failure to all of us. And you lose the game. You don't win a silver medal. You lose the gold medal. And so for us, it definitely was tough. But I think you remember that feeling, and it's almost motivation. You just never want to have to feel that again. And so I think this next Olympics is like, we're going to do everything in our power, and you know, leading up to this Olympics, like from here on out, doing everything we can to make sure that we get that gold again.
And in the complete opposite to that photo I mentioned earlier, there are photos of after that game in Pyeongchang, like you guys are in tears, and you can tell what it meant, because you put, like you said, you put so much hard work into building up to. That's the holy grail. That is the big thing, and it's just a picture speaking 1,000 words again.
Yeah, it's the most important game of your life that you're ever going to play. And some girls, that was their first Olympics and never had won a gold medal, and that's the most important game that they ever were going to play, and maybe they won't be able to have another chance at winning a medal. And that's the toughest thing is like, you know, all the pressure is on this one game. And you know, you train 4 years for one game. It's crazy. Or a couple games, you obviously have to get to the final, but to win a gold medal, it's basically getting that final, and then that one game, it's all the pressures on that, and you have to perform, and it's obviously tough, and it's something that, you know, which is why we have mental training coaches, and that's a huge aspect of it, because it is a lot of pressure on a single game.
And I wouldn't have wanted to come across you and your team in the CWHL with you having that frustration to get out of you of losing that, because you went on to win the CWHL when you came back for the second time. And I imagine, unbeknownst to you, you won the final game of the CWHL.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, losing isn't fun, you know. No one wants to lose. So we had a great team in Calgary. We had a lot of talent. I feel like I learned so much from a lot of the players on that team, and to be able to win that Clarkson Cup, the last Clarkson Cup, was special for sure. I mean, obviously we didn't know at the time that was going to be the last one, but I mean, that's another goal that you set for yourself at the beginning of the season, and I'm just, you know, glad we were able to win it with that group. So.
And from what I understand, the CWHL, you know, finishing came as a surprise to everyone involved in it, all the players and things. It wasn't like expected; it was just out of the blue.
Yeah, I mean, to have such a, you know, a great season like that whole season, I think there's a lot of positives that have come out of that season. There was a lot of hype about women's hockey in general. Like we were able to, there's 4 of us that were able to go to the NHL All-Star skills competition, and there's just a lot of great things that had come out of that year and women's hockey in general. And I think it was a shock to a lot of people that all of a sudden, you know, our league is now folded, and where do we play?
And then you signed, the next year you signed up with the PWHPA, which is the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association. I've got so used to saying that now. At first I couldn't get all the initials out, and I was...
I know, it's a tongue twister.
Well, why did you sign up with the PWHPA?
I just think I really love their vision and what they want to accomplish for women's hockey in the future. And, you know, a lot of our goals and aspirations of, you know, creating this one league that will be sustainable, that will last, that will showcase women's hockey and the talent that we have. A lot of it is, you know, we're focusing on the next generation and creating something that will last for them, and that these young girls can aspire to play in this league one day, and that it's going to be here for years and years, and it won't fold, and it will be a successful league. So I really believe in it and really believe in the PWHPA. And so I wanted to help support that.
Yeah. And one of the main things, though, when you read any interviews about any of you girls talking about the PWHPA, it's so selfless in a sense, because you all talk about, oh, we're never going to get to play in it, most likely. It's for the next generation. And that's in an era where athletes are portrayed as selfish a lot of the time. That is an incredible thing to give up for the next set of people.
Yeah, I mean, I think women's sports in general, but women's hockey, there needs to be improvement, and I would love to see, you know, the future for women and being able to have all these leagues and professional leagues that females can play in. And, you know, for us, I think anything great and anything that is successful, it takes time, and it doesn't happen overnight. So this is something that we really believe in and want to help change. And yeah, I mean, I'm getting older, so who knows if I'll ever play in this league, but I mean, I just think it's the right thing to do, and it's the best for women's hockey in the future.
You talk about the things that like, you know, come with being a professional athlete. I was like, I don't call it ignorance or whatever. When I spoke to Sarah Nurse, that's when I found out that you girls have to bring your own stick tape to the rink, which was like, it absolutely blew my mind, because I never expected that to be a thing. And they're the little things that you talk about when you talk about professional leagues, aren't they?
Yeah, like I really don't think we're asking a lot. I mean, I think just to be treated like a professional and have, like, I mean, my college team, I was treated better. We had more resources, and we had we had tape, we had a dressing room, we had, you know, great ice times that, you know, and then to go from college to now having to bring your own tape, not having your own dressing room, carrying your gear in and out, which it's fine, we can do it. It's but do you really feel like you're in a professional league? No, you know, with all that. So having those resources would be huge. And it's just really the little things that get me anyway. I mean, the fact that I had so many more resources and was treated more of a professional college is, you know, crazy to me. But
the NHL have their party line about not wanting to bully another league out of existence, sort of thing. And the PWHPA will succeed its goals, because names mean something. And if you look at the who signed up to the PWHPA, there are a lot of big names in there, and names are what drive people to coming. Yeah. And the NHL obviously have some. There is talks, and there is all that going on, because you got your invite to the 2020 All-Star Weekend in St. Louis.
Yeah. And
you got to play in this incredible game, this 3-on-3, and girls don't play 3-on-3, so that must have been difficult for you to start with.
Yeah, it was. We practiced like a few times, I remember, before, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's all just the same. You're just playing. Just felt like more like shinny out there, you know, like everyone's just showing what they can do, and there's so much space, which is a lot different. But it was so much fun that weekend, and the NHL was great to have us and have an event for us and have us all there, and we were treated so well, and so there's no complaints, but just like so thankful to have that opportunity.
Did you expect the crowd to be so partisan? Because they were very pro-USA.
Yeah.
When you scored, it was silent.
It was a mistake, though. But no, I think the support. I mean, the support was great. I think when we scored and stuff, they still cheered for us. So.
Well, it's not as loud as when they got down the other end. I watched it about an hour ago to refresh my memory.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because in this 3-on-3, it was really the goalies that stole the show as well.
I know. They made some really great saves.
But then the big thing is, you scored in that game. That must have felt awesome.
Yeah, it was so fun. I I think, yeah, it was the first goal to be scored, and that was a really, really fun experience to be able to score in that first event. 4-on-4 women's event was amazing. I mean, it all just felt a little bit surreal too, just to be able to be there and take part in it was pretty cool.
Then did you have any interactions and feel the support from the NHL players? Because when you look at a league like the WNBA, the NBA players are so invested in that. You see them, like you even see it in the NFL with Russell Wilson wearing a Sue Bird shirt the other day. Like that's the kind of relationship you need to build with the NHL as well as the NHL players.
No, I know they were great. I mean, I do know some, and then at the All-Star they were pretty supportive and really enjoyed the event, and we're happy that we were there and everything. So that was nice to know that we had their support. I know like the Calgary Flames had Instagram and tweeted out, that we were there and put us up on their Instagram and everything. And so just little things like that was really special to have their support from organizations as well.
And one of the cool things is that when you watch the coverage of it, there's this bit where it pans into the crowd and you can see David Pastrnak just poking his head like out of the tunnel, just watching. It's really cool. And I can never remember the guy's name, and it does my head in. The commentator from Hockey Night in Canada, is it Jim Houston? He's the voice of Hockey Night in Canada. I can remember Doc Emmerich and Eddie Olczyk. I can never remember the Hockey Night in Canada guy's name, but his voice is very noticeable, very memorable. And when he's saying your names, that matters.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it is really special to be able to be on there, them knowing who we are, saying our names, introducing us with all of the NHL players was really cool. I think it's just great for women's hockey, like just to have that exposure, have that platform that we're not used to, because that in turn will help gain our just gain our notoriety
sort of thing.
Yeah. So, I just think we need that exposure, and we need to for us to be successful and to expand and create a league that people will come watch.
On that, a random question I like asking all the women who come on here, I put her on the spot with it. Do you ever see a future where women don't wear cages? Because seeing someone's face can matter. It helps you relate with them a bit more.
No, I know. I know that. I know that, people watching TV, you see cages and you instantly think of, amateur, not developing teams, so it's, but I just think for women, it's just hard. It's, I don't see visors. No, I think it would change the game a lot. And I don't know, you see women with scars everywhere and stuff, just might not be.
That's true equality.
I don't know.
Well, when I was talking to Renata, she said that because you grow up wearing cages and you're playing and stuff, you're a bit looser with your stick, sort of thing.
You are, yeah.
And it's just a natural thing, so it'd be so hard to adjust that.
It would change the game. I wouldn't trust to wear a visor with women. I would trust to wear a visor with guys probably. But we're just not used to that. So
it's just an interesting point that I like to put people on the spot with it and just bring it up. But then say I know you're an extremely busy person. I can't thank you enough for your time today. This has been awesome.
Thank you for having me.
But I do always like to end this on a laugh. So that's my objective with this, is to make people smile in this crazy, crazy world that we're living in at the minute. So if you could tell a story from your time in ice hockey so far that always makes you smile, whether it's something stupid, something just funny, even if it's just funny to you, what would that be? Because so many shenanigans happen on the road and things. There are always stories.
There are always stories, and there's probably so many that...
There are a lot of stories that aren't safe to tell. I already know that.
No, I mean, there are always so many laughs. That's why I love hockey and like being around everyone. Something like when I was younger, stupid that I did, there was one like shootout that we were doing after one of the games against, I think it was an exhibition game against like Sweden or something. And I got called out and I was like so nervous. I was like, I don't want to go, So then they're like, Johnny, get out there. So I was like, okay. So I went out and I started lining up and I started going the wrong way against my own goalie because I was so nervous. I didn't even realize. and everyone was yelling at me. And then I was like, oh my God. So I started skating, and then I had to go around and like go the other way. And I was like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. So that was probably the most like embarrassing, but like funny.
Please tell me you scored.
I actually might have, but like, I don't even know how. I probably like, do you know what? I can't even remember because it's such a traumatizing time.
Well, for history's sake, we'll say you scored it, and it was just the ballsiest run-up ever.
Yeah.
The Nottingham Building Society, along with our partners, providing you with all your financial needs, including savings, the lifetime ISA, mortgages, and home insurance. Visit thenottingham.com to find out more about how we can help.